rubbish. You have no power here. Be gone before somebody drops the house on you too.
Toto, I have a feeling we're not in Kansas anymore.
You want to see the wizard, the wonderful Wizard of Oz. You'll find he is the Wizard of Wiz, if ever a wiz there was.
Lions and tigers and bears. Oh, my.
That's how we love the day away in the medieval land of Oz.
Bring me the broomstick of the Witch of the West.
But if we do that, we'll have to kill her to get it.
Bring me her broomstick, and I'll grant your request.
Who thought such a girl like you could destroy my beautiful wickedness?
Hey YouTube, it's Shaker here, and we're bringing you another one. I'm a digital artist who likes to watch movies with the people, and we are about to do a spoiler review of The Wicked. of Wicked. Okay, listen, this is a spoiler review, which means I'm not holding anything back, which means I'm talking about the story, the plot, the spoilers, and all the juicy things that happen that you don't want to know about if you ain't seen the movie. So go on ahead, watch the movie, go on ahead and see it, and then come back over here on air. Now, if you do want to watch one where I don't spoil anything, go ahead. I already did a non-spoiler review, and I'm very, very good at not spoiling because I like to be surprised, and I like when others are surprised, so I really don't like spoiling things. Like, that's just never been in my nature. So you'll be able to watch that without it, but if you want to still wait for that too, go on and watch the movie and watch both of them, okay? So this is this one is a spoiler review, okay? All right. And over there in that non-spoiler, I did a pros and cons. This one is going to be more about the plot, the storyline, and what, and my predictions. So we're going to do I'm going to talk about my movie experience. I'm going to talk about the overall feeling. We're going to talk about the plot, and then I'm going to talk about my predictions for part 2. Okay? Okay. First of all, 10 out of 10. 100 out of 10, a million out of 10. This is a phenomenal film. This is, every year, when I did my movie, when I was going to the movies every week to do reviews and stuff, which was really tedious and complicated, I ain't doing that no more. But when I was doing that, one thing I really came to realize just by looking back over the years of film and movies is that every year you're going to have movies that are just kind of like put people in the seats just to make the money. You're going to have those movies that are trash. You're going to have the movies that are underrated that actually was phenomenal that nobody knows about because they didn't go see it. And then you're going to have the masterpieces, at least 1 or 2 a year. This is that one. This is that masterpiece. So actually so I went by myself, but the theater, our particular theater, the movie was late. The movie was late. I told you guys about that in the non-spoiler review, but because of the situation, I got a free ticket, so I might have to go back. This might be my sign to go back. I don't know. I'm going to see if friends want to go, and then I'll use my ticket to go. Or maybe I'll see Gladiator. Maybe I'll see Gladiator. But I don't know. I just don't feel like going to the movies right now. Because I didn't feel like going for this, but I really wanted to go see Wicked. It was a conversation. So we'll see. We'll see. But hey, I got a year. Maybe I'll hold it for the next year. Just some good stuff coming out then as well. Also, they gave me this cool little Lego set. I might put it together. It's Elphaba's. Well, since it's a non-spoiler, this is actually, this is the spoiler review. This is actually her mom's bottle. Her mom, which they didn't really talk about it. They didn't talk about it in the movie, but she explained that this is her mom's bottle, and then this is Glenda's flower. Don't know if that has any meaning because they didn't talk about that as well. But it's obviously some importance for them to make this the item. Out of all the things they could have picked, this is what they picked. So that's pretty cool. Okay. All right. So overall feeling, it is a masterpiece of a film. A masterpiece of the film. And if you can see it in the movie theaters, go see it. If you can see it in IMAX, I know it's a little bit more expensive. Go see it in IMAX. It's so grand. It's so big. Okay. So we're going to just kind of go through the plot of the story. Not every little detail, but just kind of like in order, and I'll tell you my feeling about the characters and the acting and the set design and the feeling and the point of the story as we go along. Okay, so first of all, it starts off with the death of the Wicked Witch. We already know that the witch dies in The Wizard of Oz. Now, I don't think she's dead. I don't even think she's dead, even from Dorothy. I think even that is not true. But we're gonna find out, because this story is all about what we don't know about the story. And there was a forefront story that we were told, right? We were told this little girl comes to Oz and kills the Wicked Witch so that she can return home. And she's quite innocent in this story. Dorothy is very innocent in this story. Now, I don't know how innocent these other characters are, but Dorothy, I think, is probably the most innocent out of everyone. So it starts off with that. And then we see Oz. We see these beautiful flowers. We see Oz and the or more so Munchkin Land, but really we see this land of Oz and how happy they are to be freed from the Wicked Witch, right? As we begin to know, she's not wicked, but this is a story that has been told to the people. This opening song, insane. It gives me a little bit of Into the Woods without a little Into the Woods, but it also gives me a little bit of Brandy Cinderella in the beginning when she's out in the out and about. It's giving a little bit of do 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 do. What's that song? What's the song? Beauty and the Beast, the one where she's walking around. The girl, whatever the song is. It's giving that vibe. It's giving that vibe, but a little more mysterious, a little bit more dark, and a little more lost. Like they think they know something, but we know they don't. Right from the beginning, you can feel they don't know something, but they think they know something. And I love that. That opening song it brings you right into the world, and you feel like you all up in that. And then Glinda, or Galinda, her name is Galinda, and she makes a point of that through the movie. But then she changes her name at the end to Glinda. It's the silliest thing, but it's delicious. Galinda begins to tell her story to the Munchkinland people about her friendship. So this movie is basically a flashback movie. The whole movie is a flashback, basically. And then we see the backstory of Elphaba. So Elphaba was born out of wedlock. Okay, but I don't think the dad know that. And she was born green with powers, and her dad already disowned her, not because of the wedlock thing, just because she's green with powers, and it's like, what's going on here? So didn't disown her, like get rid of her, just kind of like, you gonna be whatever, like you're just here, whatever. But his other daughter, we find out later on the reason why she's in a wheelchair is because he was so afraid that she would turn out to be green that he forced the mother to eat these particular flowers that made her mom die and made her the baby was born early, and that's why her feet her legs don't work. And because of that, the father hates Elphaba. So we'll talk about like where that lands a little bit later on, but that's why the father hates her, not just because she's green, but because he resents her, which is like, boy, that's your fault. Anyway. But we see that the sister, I hope I get these names right, Nessa Rose, she, who is in a wheelchair, she's the one who's actually going to the school, Shiz University. But while she's there, Elphaba kind of reluctantly, or I won't say reluctantly because she kind of really wanted to be there, but like was forcefully able to attend because she revealed her powers to Madame Marble. Madame Marble is played by Michelle Yeoh. When I say listen, if this movie don't get at least a costume design award, because the costumes and Michelle Yeoh, her hair, her acting, I mean, we already know she's good from all the other things she's done. But this role, she did so well. She did have a singing part. Even she joked about like, look, I'm not a singer. But she did okay. She gave a Whoopi Goldberg. Whoopi Goldberg can't sing, but she can do the thing. She can hit the note, but she ain't hitting the note. It was given that, okay? Phenomenal job. But she kind of noticed her powers, like, girl, you coming up in the school, and then you and Glinda gonna be roommates, because Glinda had her own suite. Galinda had her own suite, of course. Glinda played by, first of all, Elphaba's played by Cynthia Erivo. Glinda is played by Ariana Grande. Both phenomenal. But let me tell you something. They killed these roles. Ariana Grande did Glinda so well. So good. So fun. She is the comedy of Glinda is the comedy of this movie. So witty, so funny, so not extremely ditzy, like super ditzy, but just enough to be like, girl, girl, get it together. Very, very not bougie, very uppity. That's probably a better way. And fake kind, like bless your heart is very much that energy. Fake kindness. She seems to be very kind and bright and bubbly, but in reality, she's self-centered, she's arrogant, and she only cares about herself. Okay, so she ain't trying to stay in no room with Elphaba. Okay, however, there is a song when they started to realize, wait a minute, I think I actually hate you. It's not just, it's something, it's more than just, I think I loathe you. I want you dead, right? There's a song about that, and it's so good. It's so fun. Back and forth. This gave me a little bit of a Wednesday vibe, like these two, you know, the black and pink, the bubbly and then the not so bubbly living together or rooming together. It was very much Wednesday. So that was pretty cool. And then where are we at here? So not Glinda, Elphaba. I put Glinda, but it's actually Elphaba. Elphaba soon discovers a bigger problem in Oz that hasn't really been like revealed, and it's that the animals, because animals can talk in Oz, they can talk, they can walk, they can work, they do all these things, but the animals are losing their rights to work and to be professors and teachers and to just do just the rights to be a part of society. And not only are they losing their rights, they're also losing their voice and ability to talk. And because they're being silenced, they're literally losing their voice. And obviously a person with a heart of gold like Elphaba does not like that. And so she discovers that. And the professor, his name, so the professor who is a goat, his name is Dr. Dillamon. I think I said that right. And that's played by Peter Dinklage. So that's great that he got a role to play a really interesting and fun, kind of witty character, but not extremely witty. Just kind of like doing his job, but he's kind of in a tough spot. And we see an underground moment where him and his other animals are kind of like, look, it's going down. Like we losing our voice, and some of the animals are like, I'm trying to get out of here before it get crazy. And I was like, yeah, because if y'all trying to put us in cages, like it's starting to shift on the people. Okay. And then we see a new student arrive, Fiyero, I think I'm saying it right, played by Jonathan Bailey. And he enters the Shiz University. He's very much a jock, cocky, but not mean. Like he's not like mean to people. He actually just kind of is chilling where he just has a free Hakuna Matata personality and opinion. Even his song is very much Hakuna Matata. It's very much live life, have fun. We in college, we gonna be reckless type, but for everyone and with everyone. And he kind of has a liking for Elphaba as well. But obviously, who's the one he's gonna go to? It's gonna be the popular girl. It's gonna be Galinda. Okay. They do that song number in this library. The library design is so cool, so clever. They got these turning, I mean, logically it doesn't make sense because how you got these books on this turning thing and the books ain't falling out, but you know, it's a movie. Anyway, great scene, great scene. And that song kind of lasts all the way into the club scene. So they have this club at night where they all kind of run away to this club. And Glinda kind of coax Elphaba into wearing this black hat that we know is her witch's hat, but this black hat that she would never wear, but kind of, oh, you should wear it, you should come, you know. And that little bit of kindness encouraged Elphaba to ask the what's her name, oh gosh, you know I'm horrible with names, I'm trying, it's a lot of, Madame Marble, hey, look, can you just bring her? Because Madame Marble is like, we don't want you, Glinda. Like, you ain't got no powers. You're not the student I'm trying to really coach here. And Glinda's like, why not me, you know? So Elphaba goes up to her and is like, look, I'm not going to continue unless you help train her. So reluctantly, Madam, she goes over to Glinda and gives her a wand and says, all right, we'll do some training. Even though I don't think you worth it, even though I don't want you to do well, we'll do some training. But then that made Glinda feel like, oh man, I'm really a horrible person. Like, I set her up to come here and be laughed at with this hat and outfit, but she did something bigger and kinder than me. So obviously it's a great scene. The atmosphere of the scene really is the turning point of the movie, because this is when Glinda and Elpha become closer. And Glinda starts to just a little bit lighten up and realize, okay, I don't have to treat this person like a monster. Let me be the bigger person and do some kindness. And that opened up everyone's mindset to be a little bit kinder to Elphaba. This also gave me a little bit of Wednesday, this particular club scene, because she was doing this really weird dance. It was very much Wednesday, but I'm okay with that. Okay. So then we get popular. Doom. You're gonna be popular. Really great. Ariana Grande killed this scene. Oh, it just was like about the dance moves. It was fun. It was witty. It was up and down. Really, really, really great scene. Really great scene. But then at the end, there was a moment of like an intimate moment of kind of like, okay, now that we're becoming friends, let's share. And this is when we learn about the situation with her mom, situation with her dad. And then they had a Color Purple moment where it was kind of like, you're beautiful. Like, look at you. You are beautiful. And I thought that was really, really nice. And this was I don't know what was, excuse me. I don't know what the reason was, but they had a pink aura coming out of the door at the end, near the end or middle of the song after Elphaba leaves. On to Glinda, and was just like, it was a great touch. Maybe it was just for dramatic effects, but just pink, extra hot pink color just kind of taking over her. It was really, really great. It was a great shot coming out of that door. I loved that so much. So then a little later on, we see Dr. Dillerman is captured. That's the goat professor, and he's captured because they're taking all the animals. And they take him away, and obviously Elpha was like, what in the world? So we ain't gonna do nothing, nobody ain't gonna do nothing. They come in with an animal, a lion, who I think is the lion, right, from the Wizard of Oz. I think it's a cub, he's a cub. They didn't say this, but I'm connecting dots, and I think that is the lion. And they come in with the cub in a cage. And she like, what's going on here? So she flips out, all the poppies that's in the room goes up, puts everybody to sleep except her, obviously the lion, and the boyfriend guy. Okay. So they run away to try to get the lion away into the, maybe that's why the lion has no courage. Like, I'm connecting dots, because you ain't got no parents, you leave him out in the middle of the woods. Of course he's not gonna have, okay, anyway. So they put him out there. They kind of have a little bit of a like, I think we might kind of care for each other, but how can I care for this green girl? How can I care for this guy? He's kind of a douche, and he, whatever. Just a connection, but nothing really big. You know what I mean? Anyway, where we at? So, then Madame Marable sees this situation. Everybody passed out, and she like, okay, I think I need to write a letter to the wizard. So she basically like, look, I think I got her. She's powerful. Come and get her. Okay. So he sends a letter. The wizard sends a letter back to Glinda, and Glinda's like, not to Glinda, to Elphaba. Like, all right, come to the Emerald City. I would like to meet you. So Elphaba's like, all right, let's do it. She hops on this awesome train that they designed. Practical, actual train, I heard. Like, it's literally a train. I'm sure they added some extra CGI stuff for moving parts and stuff, but it's a real live train and it looks phenomenal. So she's on her way out, and then she like, Glinda, come with me. Glinda hops on. They're on the way to the Emerald City. Listen, this performance, when they get to the Emerald City, the drama, the performance, the epicness, it's a really great scene. Okay, like, you really feel like it's a good scene. It really feels big. It feels like they just got to Oz. They've never been there before. They're young. We know them as these adults, who, you know, the Wicked Witch and the witch of the Good Witch of the South. But these younger college kids going to the Emerald City for the first time. It just was such a unique twist that we never seen before, and I just loved it. Or we haven't seen it on the big screen like that, and I really loved that. Okay, where we at? So we did get a cameo of Idina Menzel. Y'all know I'm bad with names. I'm like, what? Idina Menzel and Christian Chenoweth. Gosh, I hope I said it right. I know I probably didn't. We did get a little cameo of them. It was very cute. It actually reminded me. They very much gave. I don't know if you've ever seen Coraline when she's in the place with the better mom, but she goes to where those two old grandmas were, but they're younger now, and they're doing that big performance. It was given that. But the good part of it, but it was given that, like, these two performers who's older, but they're still there, and we remember them, and we recognize them, and we can see where it all started from. Their outfit was really good. I mean, the costumes in this whole movie is phenomenal. It was really, 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 really good. So then they get to the Wizard of Oz, and they are introduced to him the same way everyone else is, with this big, terrifying appearance, and the way they designed it. So good. But once he realized, wait a minute, oh, that's the girl I invited over here. Okay, shut everything down. And he just comes out like, you know, nothing's going on. Kind of like, oh, I didn't know that was you. And they're not really thinking much of it. And he shows them a what do you call it? What's it called? A mock-up. What's it called when you got a little miniature set? It was really dope. But it was basically a large miniature set of Oz. Emerald City in the middle, you can see like Munchkin Land and all these different lands, and a road that's lit up, but it's just white. He's like, you know, I want to build a road that leads everyone to me, that leads everyone to Oz, and I just don't know what color. And they're just kind of picking through the colors, and, you know, they're picking, you know, green and red and all these different ones, and they're like, the yellow one, that's the one. It's really dope scene. Really dope scene. So you can see there's no yellow brick road. He's just in the plan and preparation. So I think in the second movie, we're gonna see the completion of the yellow brick road, which is awesome. So the main reason why she wanted to go to the wizard is because he grants wishes, and everyone knows that. And her wish was to no longer be green, but because of this situation with the animals, she was like, I no longer wish that. I think I'm comfortable with being green. She didn't say this, but through the story and through her energy, you can tell she's like, no, I don't mind being green. Green is not the least of my problems or my worries right now. I care about the freedom of the animals. I want the animals to be free. I want them to be able to keep their voice, you know, all that stuff. He's like, I knew you would say that, and da da da. So then Madame Maribel's there. What you here for, girl? She's like, oh, I couldn't have missed your moment. And it's like, okay. And then she looking at Glinda like, oh, but I see you found yourself over here. And did. But then there's this book. So there's this book that is said, and this was shown in the beginning, that only the wizard could read. That's what they said. But as we know, the wizard is a phony. But for some reason, Elphaba, I keep saying Glinda, Elphaba can read it. And they kind of lead her over there. And she begins to read, and she starts speaking a whole nother language. And this language is a spell that she's casting, but she's doing it, but she's being entranced by her own power and by her own connection to this book. No one's doing this. This is the connection. Probably some prophecy that she's fulfilling. And as she's speaking, she's basically, she's making the wings of these monkeys come out. So the monkeys are already just guarding the Wizard of Oz's lair or whatever, but they don't have wings; they're just regular monkeys. And then she's literally conjuring up wings. So this wing starts coming out of this animal, but she's like, "Oh my gosh! Like this looks painful. Like this is hurting him. What? We have to stop." And then she realized, "Oh, wait a minute. Oh, they ain't for me." Cause they like, ooh, these could be, cause they're talking like, wow, see, I told you she was amazing. Like, okay, these can be our army. What? Elphaba's like, no, what? Oh, so y'all know. Oh, so you know. And then Elphaba's like, oh, you can't even read this. took the book and was like, read it. Oh, so you can. Oh, so y'all phonies. But then this is where it gets cray. Because Glinda's like, how do I put it? She is, okay, I wrote it here. She's naive, she's gullible, and she's greedy. But she loves her friend. And she kind of has a heart. Teeny bit of a heart. So because she has teeny bit of a heart, there's a side of her that's like, okay, calm down, like just listen to them. Like, calm down, listen to them. But Elphaba's like, get me out of here. I'm not down for this. And she's like, okay, but give them a chance. Like, maybe they're right. Like, they might know what they're talking about. But it's like, girl, naive, gullible, greedy, because you want to keep the power. Because they're like, oh, no, just stay with us. No, I'm out of here. So then she flees. She on a run. She on a run, and now we're on a witch hunt. So the Maribel's kind of like, Glinda, if you say you want to be on our side, why don't you go get her back? So she runs after, Glinda's gullible. So Glinda goes and she runs after them. They find themselves in this tower, and they have this kind of song of kind of like, we might have to go our separate ways. I love you, but like, okay, well, I hope that'll be good for you. Like, kind of like, that's gonna be your life, this gonna be my life. You can do what you want to do, and I'm gonna have to do what I'm gonna do. It was a song like that where it's like, I do love you, I do care for you, we do have a true connection, but at the same time, just our lives is doing this. It's doing this. Two separate ways. And then Defying Gravity. This might be the best song in any movie musical adaptation that I've ever seen. This scene, not only did she kill, like they're singing it out. They're just letting it out. But the way, the drama of how this flying scene, I've never seen such good flying in a movie. Like this flying scene and that, because I was hating on the head before the movie. I was like, why the brim ain't brimming? Like, why the brim ain't brimming? Like, we need a brim, because I like a brim. But because the cape is so grand, it can't compete. It can't compete with the brim. So the brim needs to, now I don't know if they're gonna change it or do something extra and make it more drama in the second part, which I think they probably will. But as of like for this movie, it needs to stay short. Cause the cape. Okay? Listen, absolutely phenomenal. When she grabs, because she basically uses the power of flight that she gave the birds, the flying monkeys, she gave it to herself. She didn't gather wings, but she got a broom. And that's what was allowing her to be able to fly. That last scene, I'm telling you, I can't wait for it to go onto YouTube or whatever so we can watch that, because I mean, like, it's hard to explain that, but it's so grand. It's so grand. Oh my goodness. It's really good. That Defying Gravity is really good. Okay, so that's the whole breakdown of the story, this whole breakdown of the plot. So this is my predictions. So I think that in the second, this is what I think. In the second movie, we're going to get the, because I don't know the play, so I might be wrong about this. But in the second movie, I think we're going to get the traditional story of the Wizard of Oz that we know. Dorothy comes to Oz. You know, she's sent on a journey to kill this wicked witch that isn't wicked, but we're taught that she is, and everyone thinks she is. Everyone believes the wizard is more powerful when listen, no one is more powerful than the Wicked Witch. No one is more powerful than Elphaba. So, but they lied to the people like this. And I think we're going to get that. And we're going to see that. But then we're going to see the behind the scenes with the true villain, which would be the wizard. Well, I've always felt the wizard is a villain because he's lying to all these people. He's always been lying. That's one thing that they kept consistent in all the Wizard of Oz movies. The wizard is the biggest problem of all the movies, period, hands down. More of a problem than the Wicked Witch, and then even in the old movies. But He's truly the villain. Madame Marable is a villain, and Glinda. Glinda, it might be the biggest problem because she's more of an enabler. I do think she's going to change her viewpoint in the second movie. I feel she's going to realize, dang it, I'm a monster. I've created a monster that isn't even real. I think she might come around, but I don't know. I think the boyfriend guy is probably going to be there to help. So this is setting itself up to be a phenomenal part 2. It better come out next year because nobody wants to wait more than that. Spider-Verse, because it was supposed to come out. I mean, I know it was a lot going on, but anyway. So yeah, I do think Madame Marable's probably gonna die. I don't think the Wicked Witch is dead. I think that she is pretending to be, and I don't know who knows it, but I think she is. I do think, because remember, so just a side note, not ruby slippers, they only made it ruby because the movie came out in 1939. They just figured out how to make color. Okay, the shoes are actually silver slippers, and they made it like that in this book. I heard this followed the book more and more of the Wicked book as well, but the sister that was in the wheelchair, that's the sister that has the shoes, and those shoes are actually Elphaba's their mom. So, and it was handed down to her. So obviously a house falls on her. I don't know if they keep that in the story or not, but that's what happens. So I mean, it would make sense. She's in a wheelchair, so if a house falls on her, maybe she couldn't get out the way. And I'm just trying to keep it. Just kind of keep it real, okay? But yeah, so we'll see how it turns out. You can tell from the trailer that they already recorded. The first and second movie is done. It's just they're going to give it a time to put it out because there was a lot of things in the trailer that didn't show up in this movie, and it's because they have to throw us off a little bit. It was just certain scenes they didn't even show because it's in part 2. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I might see it again because, hey, I got a free ticket. So we'll see. I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, I don't know if this is the last video for Wicked Week. I think it is. Thank you for even being a part of Wicked Week. I know that some movies might have not even aired yet because of the situation with the copyright. So sorry about that, but I'm just going to get them out as soon as I can. They're not going to be in order because The Wiz was supposed to be second and it already came out first, and Oz Great and Powerful might be next, and then The Wizard of Oz. I don't know. I'm having the hardest time getting the copyright approved for those. But anyway, I'll put them on the channel at any time and then we'll watch them together. Anyway, I can't wait for this week to be done because I want to get back to my normal schedule. We're going to get back to some Star Wars. Going to get back to Silo. We're going to get back to Fallout. Only did 1 episode, but I'm going to go and hopefully I want to put out 2 episodes of Fallout next week. So stay tuned for that. If you have not already, don't forget to like, subscribe, push that notification button because we're going to keep bringing this stuff to you. Man, I want to go back and watch it now.
Think to yourself, there's no place like home. There's no place like home.
There's no place like home. There's no place like home.